Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Am I audible? Good
Yes, you're
evening.
audible. I'm audible, right? Good.
Yes, sir. You are audible. Great.
Thank you, Tangaraj. Good evening, Mr. Tangaraj. Am I audible to you, Mr. Tangaraj? Not seems to be. He's not seems to be.
Yes, you are audible. I am in a bus.
Oh, okay. No problem. I understand that. Hi, Ashish.
Hi, hi. Hi, Sangraj sir. How are you? First class, congratulations for becoming TEDx speaker. Thank you, sir. Good evening, all time. Yeah.
So we will start our wait for a few minutes. Maybe I think we are already live on the YouTube also. So we'll wait for a few minutes and start the session. So, Ashish, what we will do this introduction slide, or we will directly jump into the Q&A, and in between you will do that. That may be a good thing, no?
We can do a quick one-round introduction in terms of the about leadership card, and then we can get started.
Okay, great. So, good evening. Welcome all of you here on the Zoom as well as on the YouTube live watching this leadership card hour. KARD Hour is the weekly knowledge sharing session organized and conducted by Leadership KARD. One of the coaches from Leadership KARD be here and share on a topic their experiences and answered questions. And today we made it little bit of a different, wherein two of the coaches from Leadership KARD are here, which is Ashish Datta and myself. And we are going to do, there are a lot of some of the questions which get come in from our audiences and the cohort who have gone through our courses. Based on that, we thought we'll make this as a Q&A session today, and live audience who are here, you can also ask the question as we finish already whatever the questions which we have gotten. And while doing that, Leadership KARD started with the objective to unlocking hidden potential. Why do we say unlocking hidden potential? We strongly believe that each one of us have huge potential to do things. What is it required is some point of a time to look at and give those smaller things to get that key identify those key, help identifying those keys so that you unlock your hidden potential. And we are not going to here invent anything or discover anything from it. Is basically helping the people to discover by way of unlocking their hidden potential. How we do that? We are problem solvers. We primarily help people. They have some problem. We help them to solve their problem. So that is what we work on it. Some of the indications of his space, some of them have a career or a business growth, stagnation. We work on those areas and help them to overcome that. Then struggling to achieve the work-life balance. This is another big thing everyone talks about, work-life balance. How do they achieve that work-life balance? They say that I'm spending more time in work or more time not able to spend time with family, where various other things which will be there. That is the another struggle people might definitely have, and we help them overcome that. And the third one is the interpersonal conflict. When you work with the team, more than one person is there, always there is going to be conflicting ideas and thought. How do you manage those conflict and interpersonal conflict, and so that we work as a team and move forward in the right direction? In this, as a KARD, the focus areas, we have the leadership skill. Basically, we help people developing their leadership skills through this set of programs, what we work on and do that. Then second is the effective team building. One is the leaders, second is the team. How do we work with the team and team building? What is that needs to be worked on? There are various programs we do and customized programs also we work on it. And the sales and alliances, as we also have an expert in our group, we have through him to do this sales and alliances program. That is the another area. And once it is done, the initial set of programs and other thing, they go through that, then people might need something to work on the coaching and mentoring services. That becomes a very close one-to-one we have to do with them, and that is a coaching and mentoring services we provide. When we are working with the organization, it is considered as a consulting, or when we are doing a customized programs for them, it goes in the consulting route, wherein we use the heart framework for implementation of that. I will explain about this heart framework little later. And this is the dark hole. We all come across into there's a lot of uncertainty, challenges, and conflict. And if you look at some of the thing what we have listed out here, which is not something, it is not something new we discovered it, it is there. Individual contributor to leader, unable to manage team and resolve conflict, how his politics, pawn in the management came. Even couple of days back, I had a coaching session with one of the person who's 18 years worked in the organization. He feels that he doesn't have any voice to do that. Because of that, he wanted to change. Even though he's doing good, he wanted to change. That's what I am working with him and coaching him on that. So new leaders are not being accepted, old timer bypassed, ignored. This is the exact problem he has got. Old timers are bypassed, and what is that he needs to do? Prove himself that he is worthy in the organization. These are some of the dark holes which we navigate, help them to navigate that dark hole. In this Leadership Navigating the Dark Hole, a book has been written by Ashish Datta. The author himself is here. Today we will explore with some of the questions on that as well, if it is coming up on this. So just to give a quick snapshot of what is that we have done 2+ years in existence of Leadership KARD. We have done 200+ experiential learning workshop. We call this as experiential learning. We consider all the information which is today available on the have to everyone, and what we bring in on our experience and help people to experiment based on the concepts and discussion what we do. Through that, they go back with some of those implementable action which they can put into practice immediately on their workplace. That is what we got many appreciation from the people for doing this. And we do 15 plus consulting. We have done 15 plus consulting assignment to a company which is about 100 to 500 employee strength at various levels of consulting which has been done. And we created a strong community today with 7 books which has been published whereby together by all the coaches in leadership KARD, and we published more than 1,500 plus quotes, which is inspiring quotes. Some of them may be us, and many we have picked up from the authors who have done the quote that can inspire us. 150 plus article. We very frequently write articles in the LinkedIn, which has been published as part of that. It gets published week on week as well. And collectively, more than 1,000 plus videos we have done published in the Facebook and YouTube, which is all available. Each one of them have some kind of a nuggets of wisdom. What is our experience? What is that we've gone through? More than 250 plus leadership talk podcast has been done. We brought in industry leaders from their experiences to learn. We have published more than 250 plus leadership podcasts. So let me stop here for this part of it and give you more details about our programs and other thing at later part of it. Now we move on to the purpose for which we are all here today. Today we call this as a question and answer session. So welcome Ashish for being here. One of the thing is, as you all know, we are 4 partners in Leadership KARD: Kirandeep Sandhu, Ashish Datta, myself, and Devesh Mohan. And we bring in expertise from different areas. That is what we put together and help the people to overcome their challenges and help solving their problem. That is the exact thing we work on and doing it. So maybe let us quickly jump on to the Q&A session. Let me start with the first question, which had come in from one of our earlier students who has done our course with us. And the question is how to complete the work on time if it is delayed by a teammate. Yeah. Ashish, the question this person asking is how to complete the work on time if it is delayed by a teammate who take time to finish his or her part, their part.
Thank you, Ram, for that question and having me here today. I don't know the exact circumstance, but I can give a generic reply from various angles. The first is, if somebody is not completing the task, for whatever be the reason, for the very first time, I think that's something we should not be bothered with. We should jump in and get the work done. But generally, that's not the case. There are, I think it becomes very frequent where for somebody else get affected. Now, there are 2 ways to look at it. One, I'm a leader, and that person could be my team member, or it could be that both are colleagues or what we call peers. Let's take the case that if you are peers and your work is interconnected, and because of one person it is affecting you, then the most important part of it is to understand the reason for that. What is the reason? Is this a capability issue? Is this an attitude and behavioral issue? What is really behind that? And because that is the most important, the why. And then try to address it. Sorry. Third is, I would say, setting the right expectations. And the very important aspect in this is the dark hole again. And one of the things that I talk about very frequently is you should expect problems. You should expect problems all the time. You may call it a negative mindset, whichever way you look at it. But when you expect problems, that self awareness that a problem can come, you are better prepared to face situations. So, at every point when you go into an activity or working with somebody, you expect things to go wrong. Nobody will cooperate with me. I'll suffer because of other people. Then what do? You are antennized up, you're self-aware, you work out different risk management and action plan and strategies because nothing will work overnight. It will take a long term, so you must start early. So I call that expectation, and then depending on what you study the people, you understand their problems, and then try to set the right expectation of how you are going to work together. That may not solve the problem fully, but then if you are aware early, it really helps. And to me, that I call it a disbelief mindset. Expect things to go wrong. Nobody will work, you'll suffer. And then you work out your action plans and strategies. You will, in fact, you're better prepared to handle those situations. I think that's the second one, the part I call understanding the reason. You can call it, I wouldn't really go to the extent of calling it empathy. It's more understanding what could be the reason. And after you understood the reason, set the right expectation with that person. And if there's any help to be required, you give that. And the third is, in a way, it's empathy, in a way, also relationship building, that you have to make people realize to work for you. If I have a good relationship with you, like I have with Ram, and you are suffering, I'll feel for it. It's an empathy of different kinds, and I'll work for you. So the question then arises from that understanding part. What kind of issue is a capability issues and attitude? That person may not be at all bothered about you, or the person is not even aware what is going on. So that's where you set the expectation with good communication. Understanding really helps to understand. And ultimately, you must have good relationship with people. When you have good relationship, what happens is that they become more accountable, because then they feel because of you, your work is getting effective. So if you have to summarize, if it is one time, go ahead and just jump in and get it done. If it is a regular occurrence, understand the real reasons why it is happening. Capability, attitude. Second is the right kind of expectation setting with that person. And third is you have to start building relationship with people. When you will build those relationships, you will be able to do it. And I would say this is not easy. If it is a recurring activity, it will take time. You have to build a relationship, to set the expectation and work towards it. There's another dimension to it. When you are team members or peers, that person is not in your control. Correct? So that person may not listen to you. So that's where the relationship building really, really helps. And to make that person understand, good expectation setting. But it's not something that you can do immediately. It is a long-term activity to do it. And as a leader also is the same. Perhaps you'll have better control over that person to understand the same, but I think it's still the same. Set the right expectations, how we'll work. If you have a problem, how to work on the ground rules, what I call the ground rules, understanding the real reason and helping out that person to what is it. It again boils down to building the right relationships. So one time, forget it, just get it done. Regular, if then you will have to do a lot of groundwork to get it sorted.
Great, thanks. So you had said plan for the unplanned. It is a good thing, and we always have to look at what is that is not going to happen and how you can start planning that. When you were talking about relationship, I am reminded of situations. Some of the multinationals which I worked, what they do is they build the relationship with the new employee joining from the day one. Always there is an organization where I worked. What happens is the manager and some of those people I need to regularly interact and work. We always go out for a lunch or a dinner. This is basically this a concept of, they call it as getting to know beyond work. Something which is the concept. You get to know the person beyond the work. That point of time, there are many discoveries happen. Moment I got to know about this kind of a principle, getting to know people beyond work, I practiced it to the extent possible wherever I worked. It it throws up, it gives you a lot of insights. Basically, I get to know you beyond the work. I get to know what is that some of your passion, interest, what is that some of the good you are at it. That may help come in handy to me in some of the work, what I'm doing it is personally or professionally. It will definitely help. The building relationship is very important, wherein people always not like now work like I'm asking you to do this work, do this, and that is not the thing. And getting to know people beyond the work, and also plan for the unplanned thing. It is, as a leaders, we all need to get that kind of a thing. If we are working on that, it's right. Absolutely, you are right on saying that. So now we have in the Zoom, people are there. If they have any questions or wanted to answer to that, we can give an answer. Any
Yeah, we'll wait if there are any questions, but I'd like to add a little more to this. Relationship building is not about friendship. It is about invested in each other's growth.
Great.
So we have to make that very clear distinction. There's no sympathy, there's no friendship. You are investing in each other's growth. And if, so that's very critical, how you build that up. You are invested, you are helping that person will also help you. So it is all about building the right relationship, whether you are a leader, whether you are, because not everybody has a problem of attitude or any other problem, because each person is unique. It is not that they are born with that, or most of the time it is unknowingly coming out. And that's where you have to be very aware. And when you get right into a problem, you can't help it, do it. So I want to talk a little more about that point I said about disbelief mindset. One is that disbelief mindset prepares you better, because then you have good preparation. The other thing I also talk about is, you are the problem, you are the solution. Nobody is there to help you. You have to find a solution.
Correct.
So when your mental framework is like that, you're better prepared. You're much more aware that it will happen. You'll have different strategies and possibilities. How is that person? Your antenna will be up, understanding people. That understanding, expectation setting, and the relationship building, you're aware that everything will go wrong. You'll have better strategies. You're better prepared. So I would like to again re-emphasize the need to have such a mindset, which is in fact a positive mindset. Look at things negatively because you have a positive mindset. That's what I will add. And that's what
that is right. Basically, you always have to work on disbelief mindset, helps you to better prepare on the risk management. Basically, you look at what are all the risks you are going to go through that and work on it. This also remind, when you are saying relationship, it is that is a point when you were talking about, I was reminded of, it is not, as a leader we need to help the people. Everyone has got their personal vision and personal goals as well, and how beyond achieving the organizational goal, how you are going to help them in doing it. That is what is the building. The moment you had helped somebody to achieve their personal goals, whatever they are having it under their thing, and this person is going to go way beyond and start working, and this productivity is going to increase. That is the thing which many leaders in current days don't do because of the busy world. They say that getting the job done and getting out itself is the better thing, and how do we start working. It's not, doesn't require too much of a time, and you need to do that. So I was fortunate to have, when I was working in organization, there are certain leaders worked as a mentor to me, helping me to plan and achieve my other goals, what I had, and how do I do start working on it. So that is the one always, if it is not there, a mentor or a coach, someone can help them in doing that. So that is the thing also, is definitely an important one. Good.
In fact, if you think about it, there are two very critical aspects uh, from a leader's point of view. And that aspect is, first is of course leading self, because then only people will follow you. Set the right example. The second is expectation setting. It is so very important. So many things can be handled with expectation setting. And as a leader, when you say expectation setting, the main thing is to create that environment where people can perform well. And the very first thing I say in that is prepare people for the worst. That mental setup, things will go wrong, the dark hole. You are the problem, you're the solution. You have risk management. You're continuously talking, training, doing. That is a very key aspect where people understand. That is one aspect. The second is having the right ground rules or behavioral ground rules. If you have a problem, set the right process and systems. If you have a problem, you know a timeline, how you work together. If there's a problem, what are the different ways you handle it? Put that process and document it and set the rules what you're going to do. If you have a conflict, how we'll handle, how we'll report to each other, how we'll communicate. That's the ground rule. So mental setup, the ground rules, and the third that you need to do is set up the right KPI. What are your responsibilities? How it will be measured? If you really think about it, these are the three expectation setting. And assume and just imagine if that was set up, if somebody is having a problem, they will realize they're having a problem, and then they will either seek help or do something. They would not let somebody else get suffered. But again, creating this culture working is a long run game. So there is no overnight success.
Great. That's good. I think a short question, but we had given a good elaborate answer to that. Definitely that helps. Rekha, she asked this question. Definitely that is going to help her, and this one. Yes, I see Tangaraj has raised his hand. He has got any, you have a question? Or?
No, I want to supplement what Mr. Ashish was mentioning. Only thing is, I'm just going to replace the word to expectation to forecasting. That is all. Everything else remains the same, because in business we always implore upon people to plan in advance. Plan is nothing but preparing in advance and expecting in advance, or forecasting in advance. Now, very simple example I can say about is, all of us are drivers. When we drive a vehicle, we should definitely expect how the other people in the road are using the road, and what is the way how they drive, and where is the turn they are going to take. If you don't foresee that, if you are going to be very sincerely following your own vehicle and your own path, you are definitely going to get into trouble. So very important aspect for driving is to foresee how the other driver behaves on the road, more than how we are going to drive. So this is what I wanted to add. And the second thing what I wanted to add is that left to itself, they say Murphy law, left to itself, things will go from bad to worse. So we have to take things under control. We have to expect it, and we have to forecast it and arrange in a way how it is required. That is what Ashish was talking about the goal setting and other thing. Only one negative point I want to bring out here, because commercial organizations, they always plan, at least now I've been consulting for last 4-5 years. People said, if a person is capable of doing 8 hours of job, they purposely design for 12 hours of a job. Never you get that satisfaction. Yes, I've done my job, or my expectation I have completed. Yeah. And most of the time, in fact, in my professional career also, if the 6:30 is my walking home time, 6 o'clock the boss would call me and ask me, boy, this needs to be done very urgently. This has to be done now only. I don't know, for some reason, this point is coming more and more in my mind. Many times in many companies, many occasions, this is getting repeated. People want to get more from people, much more than what they have actually agreed with them. So this is, I'm seeing this as a regular scenario or regular, situation. Sometimes in my mind to reconcile for this is very difficult, and I'm just venting out my feeling here in this forum. If some Ram or Ashish can throw some light on how to handle this.
So thank you very much, Thangaraj sir. I think very valid point, and I think yes, forecasting is the right way to look at it. The second point you've said is very important. I agree with you, and in fact, I plan for not 8 hours or 12 hours. I plan for double. To be very honest with you, because we are also in commercial, we cannot ignore that aspect. We have to get better than. I have people who work in 2 projects because I have to also get the cost advantage. I have to make profit. However, I will go what I do, and what I'd like to say is this is a reality. I wouldn't say negative or positive. That's a reality. With less people, you can get done. That's one. At the same time, what I look at is how I can make the process better so they can do more work, how to make them more efficient, how to make them more productive. And I keep telling everybody that I'm working for 12 hours. So the question is, why you're working for 12 hours? How you can make yourself better? How you can do, and if you are really getting work which you cannot do, how you are able to communicate that. So it again goes back to, yes, we want people to do more. That's a fact and reality. At the same time, how is that culture which makes people think of how they can become more productive? And if they have a genuine problem, how we can help each other. The first part is only done, the second is not done. It's a huge problem, and many organizations have that. But we should also do the second. I wouldn't say the first is negative or positive. I would say that's a reality, but that must be backed by the second part. If that is not there, yes, you're very right. It's a big, big issue.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, see, that is to adding to the point, what Ashish says, Azias put very clearly what needs to be exactly done. Many times what happens is this all bound to happen in the smaller organization, definitely where either the founder or the CEO or the person whoever is there, he is the ultimate decision maker. And one of the things I found in this organization is first thing is they don't have those processes and system. Basically, that is most important. You need to put those processes and system. Moment you start allowing the processes start working, okay, they need to start trusting it, believe that processes will work. And processes and systems also, it is not that something which is costed on a stone. Based on your experiences, based on what it is coming, you need to have that flexibility of making those adjustment and changes and go on. That is the important thing which is required, which many of the organization don't do. Then they start, everything is coming to me, and the pressure will be there. With that, the people also, in the absence of processes and system, people don't take response. They wait for an instruction, what needs to be done. That's what will happen. This has to be taken care. One that is addressed, things will improve.
Well,
Right.
I want to add something to this point because it's very important. But before that, I think Bausai has raised his hand.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Bausai.
Thank you so much, sir, for arranging this valuable, impressive, and valid Q&A. Let me share you very happily. I am reading Sandwich book written by Ashish Datta sir. I completed self mastery. I completed culture mastery, and I am about to completing team mastery. So whatever you have explained about the work culture and leadership skills, yes, these are highly needed for this is highly needed by each and every leader, because, and very rightly mentioned by Thangarajan sir, that at 6 o'clock leader calls their members, employees. Okay, this work is remained and you have to complete it. And in your book, you have very rightly mentioned, if you have prepared plan, okay, employees are leaving at 6 o'clock, then if you have plan, assign that task to them earlier so that they can finish before 6 o'clock. If we realize these things before time and if we make a plan, then certainly we can achieve our goal and finish the task before on or before 6 o'clock. I experienced these situations during my early career in Pune University as well as in CSR Siri, but I was not aware how to handle such kind of situations. But your books, Dark Hole, and the Sandwich really helping me a lot to improve myself as a leader. And I'm not only reading, I'm implementing those learnings in my day-to-day activities. So
Thank you.
it is really awesome learnings, and this Q&A certainly helping a lot. My question is related to the leadership and work culture. So how to realize that the things which you have mentioned, behavior, then culture, then mindset of the employee, and their approach of understanding to grab the attention and get done our work. So how would we analyze that thing so that we can start applying our skills and get done our work? And nowadays, mobile is a big problem for each and everyone in the organization. We cannot ban mobile in the organization unless and until we have a proper office memorandum. So mobiles are allowed to each and every candidate, and those are becoming a big headache for our works in the system. So this is one example I would like to share, how to analyze the problem and get the solution for such kind of micro level of problems, being a leader.
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much for your kind words. And before I come to this question, I want to go back to the first one, what Thangraj sir was also mentioning about being called at 6 p.m., just about you're trying to leave. So I have a lot of experience in that. And there's one person specifically I remember. And it was about we were auditing in factories that used to be a little far away from the city. And when the employee bus was leaving, that time we have to go in the bus. And 15 minutes before that, he will let us start our discussions. So now the important part was 2-3 of us had this problem. Repeatedly, it was happening. And then we understood the pattern. We understood that person, what he is trying to do, what he is doing. So we started setting expectations. Sir, today we have to leave at 6 p.m. I am going. If you need anything, let me know now. And at 4 o'clock, we used to go and ask him, is there anything? Because I am going today. So repeatedly tell him that. So then he'll be careful of it. Make that person aware. But we knew that what is the pattern. So if you know your boss is going to call you at 6 p.m., what you're going to do about it is the question about it. You have to plan it out. It's not that you can say no on the face of it. Now, coming to your second question, it's a very difficult question, and I'll be very honest with you. I cannot give you the right answer. It's a very difficult thing unless and until that culture exists. If that culture is not existing, it is extremely difficult for one individual to do anything. Like if you are working in an organization, it all goes to setting the right culture by constant orientation, constant awareness, talking about it, and leading by example. Now, your organization is not doing it. There is very little that you can do about it. You can only see that your work is done. You do your best, but I doubt whether you will get the right results. Unfortunately, that is the reality, and you may not be happy with my answer, but that's the reality. So you have to then, if you think your analysis says your organization is like that, you have to cover yourself. You have to protect yourself in whichever way you can, so that at least you get your job. Try to build at your level with people, understand them. But I believe your results will be very limited. It has to come at an organization level. If that doesn't happen, it is very difficult. And that's why I always talk to leaders from that way. Build a leadership, you have to build that culture. I fortunately work in an organization for 20 years where the management, the top itself, it has been coming down. It has helped me. And I am also trying to train people in that building that culture. And it takes a very long time, sometimes lifetime. If that culture is there, that problem should not be there because you can freely talk, you can discuss that. If that is not there on your own, you can do your best, but I think your results will be very limited. So it's a very negative answer, Bahusab, but that's the reality.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
That
true.
is
Thank you
that
so
is
much,
where
sir.
the adding to that, no, but it all starts. Organization is in the sense, no, the leaders have to start. Basically, what I'm saying is, whatever you are doing it might not change immediately. That's what he says. You may have to have that patience and persistent, continuously start doing it. See, I'm telling you based on my example. Moment in the year 1995, when I joined corporate real estate facilities and administration, people used to call this as a thankless job. And people used to say that whatever some work, if somebody is not willing to do, let us dump that work on these guys. These guys are there, they will do it. This is the one it started. It was taken a lot of time. Initially, to build, first thing I started looking at is how do we put those processes and system, what is our in scope of work and out scope of the work, which we can start defining it, and what is that operating level agreement or service level agreement, and all the thing, bringing that culture, as he said, it is not an overnight thing. And we have to go through that struggle. And once it is all done, it had got the blessings of the leadership. Once they saw that something is happening, then they started appreciating it. Yes, this is good, and you started doing it. Then everybody started appreciating it, and things has become good. Then at a stage, we were able to say that after 4 or 5 years of a time, we were able to. Somebody says that, yeah, this is not my scope of the work. It takes its own time. For me, in that case of 3 or 4 years, it has taken, but some people it take lifetime also. Don't know, but you should not give up and start looking at it. And also, sometime we need to educate our leader. We should not always believe that whomever you are reporting, our leaders know everything. Because I worked as leader, there are people educated me on many things. Like similarly, and you should be ready to learn and unlearn. That is another important thing, which is thing we need to start working on it. Both is an important, and we also take responsibility. There are some places I worked in, many multinational organizations. Always this conflict used to be there, Indian management as well as the global management leadership team, Indian leadership, global leadership team. So I have spent huge amount of a time educating our global leadership on what is the things can happen. Moment when that things happen, they understand things will change. Until such time, it's going to be you are the in the words of Ashish, it's a pawn in the management game. No, that is what it is going to happen. You have to play back and forth. Indian management will throw you up. No, don't listen to them. Do this, and global leadership will say that, yeah, whatever I am saying, do it. That balance takes time.
Yeah, it
That
is.
is
And
the,
I'd like to add to that, Ram, is that again, the part of maturity is you don't
yeah,
control everything, you only control yourself. If
yes,
you know the organization is like this, then you will have to work out because you're already, your antenna is up. You understood and analyzed. You have to work out your own action plan. It may be difficult, but
yes.
to make yourself indispensable. I'll give you another example. There was a company where we used to work with in my audit days. It was horrible. It was horrible. The manager is to shout at everybody. You can call, they can call. It is going on. But there was one person he could not touch. He was very clear he could not touch. He was extremely good in his work. And he, on the very first day, was very clear that you cannot touch me. And he was scared to even do. But for others, he was back and call, like call anytime. Night they will call his house. You can't mess with him. Now, at that point, as I think back now, I was thinking, why did that happen? Because that person was aware. What is it? He carved his own place. It took time for him. He built his own thing. You can't mess with me. So it depends. It's not easy that everybody can
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. But if your antenna is up, the self-awareness is so important. If your antenna is up, that yes, you can do it. Believe me, you can achieve a lot. That's very, very important, self-awareness. But yeah, not all organizations are good. You have to find your own game. So we have to deal. The world is very unfair.
Relationship you talked about, that is also good for another thing. Your bosses and your leaders, you need to build that relationship so that they listen to you. They start working on it. Unless that trust and relationship is built, nothing is going to happen.
Then nothing
So,
is guaranteed. You have to try
yeah,
your best.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
very imperfect world. You have so, but when your antenna is up, everything is going to go bad. You are better prepared. I go back to the self-awareness of my disbelief mindset. When I had the first 10 years, which was horrible, then I stopped believing everybody. I knew things will go wrong. But then when I was better prepared, okay, this guy is like this. I know this person will come back. This person will not do his work. I'm strategizing. And that's when slowly it started giving results. We should expect everybody is bad input, nothing will work, and work out your strategies. That's where the whole point is come about. My self-mastery as the book, and earlier I've written the same CRM, was a very, very important. And the way you build relationship. If you understand people, it will take time. It's not easy. I mean, in 1 year, you can't get results. You have to work for them, build that foundation. I'm sure you will at least carve your place. You will definitely see some improvements.
Okay, let us look at any
Thank
other
you, sir.
question. One more question is there. We can take it up. Otherwise, yeah.
I just
Great.
want to add add to what Ashish said, just now said. Suddenly, I remember what I read a few years back, long time back, like how the manager, uh, you know, controls his team through emotions. There's a way how the team also controls the manager with their emotions. I mean, emotional quotient. I read it somewhere long time back. Maybe now it occurred to me that we should use this situation to bring about the change in the situations where the managements are expecting are coming out with this kind of last minute rush work. Maybe slowly we should start prevailing, and that is what is the solution which occurs in my mind at this point of time for this challenge.
Yes, sir. Very rightly said, sir. And when you're saying that, I remember it about something else. There was a person, he's very good in his work. He's professional, he's perfectly good. And he works in a big corporate house. And he was telling me one day he was asked to meet a senior member of the management at 3 o'clock. So he arrives at afternoon 3 o'clock because the corporate office was there. He is arriving at 3 o'clock for the meeting. And then he is asked, why have you come now? What, do you have a meeting? He said, yeah, I was told to come at 3 o'clock. So no, the time given to you was 3 a.m. So I asked him, what is this? 3 a.m. Yeah, that person works late at night. He's always calling you. I asked him, you're a professional. You are this thing. Now, whose fault would you say? Is it that person's fault or is it your fault? That you're allowed this to happen for many years. Now you're asking, now what should I do? I say, you have allowed it to happen for 4 to 5 years. You're happy with it. How can you suddenly change? But when you initially had corrected it, you have set the right expectation, it would have taken time. I said, now it's a lost case for you. 5 years you're doing, you're a professional, you're not happy, you could have gone somewhere else, you can easily get a job at a better salary, you're still accepting it. Now, why do you say it's a problem? So it's like that. You have to start working on it early. It's a very difficult world. If not, it's going to take time. There is no shortcut. There is no quick fix pill.
Great. So great questions and a lot of insights onto the answers. I'm sure our viewers are benefiting from there. And we will continue this kind of more sessions in the coming weeks and months. uh, Before we end the today's session, I just wanted to quickly put it across what is that, how you can continue in case some of them decide to work on, even for the viewers on the YouTube. We have as the core modules as starting with from understanding self, wherein you need to start understand yourself, work on personality, SWOT and mindset, 360-degree Johari window, as well as your niche part of it, understand that. Then moving on to the leading self, that's a self-leadership framework, goal setting, priority management, how to be resilient. This is a very important thing. Then from there, moving on to the leading teams. How do you, what are the things you need to start looking at it when you want to work on it with respect to that? Organization culture building, which is the most important, change management, gender diversity, inclusion, problem solving, and decision making. Leading organization. Then comes on the leading organization. Conflicts are going to be there. How do you manage that? Team dynamics, effective negotiations, and business etiquette. And we have been working on developing all this as a self-paced learning for the people as a level one, understanding self, as a level two, leading self, team, and organization. And we are sure by early next month, we will have these courses on self-paced learning management platform completely available. Then we also working on getting people on a monthly membership, as in we have a group session once in a month. If they are enrolling into that, they get the level one and level two of the program packaged along with that. Then comes in as the level four. If you want to do a specific thing, have a coaching or mentoring, then we work on those areas as well on that. When it comes to the small and organization, we work on the customized workshop based on the organization requirement. Currently, as I am talking to you, we are working with two such organizations doing a survey with the needs survey, basically understanding the needs of the organization, based on that working on customized workshop, then consulting through the HEART framework. The HEART framework is basically we go basically assess understanding. How do we go about on the customized program? Assess understanding, then confirm and clarify through the discussions. We do that, then identify and finalize those challenges, finalize those skill gap, whatever it is required, the challenges they need to work on, and finalize the training needs on a short, mid, and long term. Things are not going to change overnight. Nothing. We are not magicians to do the magic. That's the reason we recommend always what is that immediately you need to look at mid-term and long term, so that you have a consistency brought in and you're able to sustain and grow. Follow up, training, and success measurement. This is basically the follow up through the follow up sessions, help them to further analyze and look at the things. So thank you very much. HEART framework, I think, yeah, HEART framework is basically doing a health check, then agile implementation, and working on the real-time transformation. On the HEART framework, we help and understand, go through a program or almost 2 months to 3 months, depending on organization requirement, completely understanding whatever I sees, then working on the agile implementing those plans and working on that. That's what we do that on a real-time transformation, selecting some of those projects which will give there as a growth lever and piloting that, then implementing it. That is the thing we work on it.
So I'd
Thank
like to
you.
add to what Ram said. Did somebody say anything? Okay.
No.
Yeah. So the offering sheet you saw that's going to be announced very soon, that we are updating our offerings. Our personal transformation program will now be available as self-paced program, which will be available to you at very affordable price. You can run it your recorded courses, and we will still run some training sessions from time to time, depending on the need. But our focus would be on the self-paced program, And we will also have one session every month to talk about a subject or take your questions. That's the third level. And if you are enrolling for you can enroll for the first level, you can enroll for second level, you can take even one module within level 1 and level 2. But if you're leveling for level 3, which is you're going for our annual membership, where we'll continuously support you, then level 1 and level 2 comes in that price. And as I said, it's very affordable. And the fourth is you need one-to-one coaching, mentoring. That's what we're going to tell you. This is going to be announced in detail. We are going to hold a webinar at the end of October to explain this in more detail. And we are also making it the reach where because people have time constraint, you can do in your self-paced. We are going to introduce a learning management system, which will help you in all ways. We'll also come up with, within the level 2, it need not be exactly what is there in our personal transformation. We can have other, if you want just to know about effective communication, if you want to know how you want to build your visibility. So we'll keep adding programs into it. And it's your choice. You can take a bundle or you can take one. But if you enroll for level 3, you get everything. Plus, you get a monthly group session where you can clarify your doubts. And the fourth is going to be the one-to-one session. This is going to be virtual. We are not planning. And if at all we do physical workshops, as we keep doing from time to time, we'll definitely let you know, and we'll be happy to meet you in person. So that's what I wanted to add to it, to what Ram said. And so hold on for a more formal announcement.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for all of you joining in here in person as well as in the YouTube social media. So we bring in cumulative 100+ years of work experience, worked in diverse field. India and global work experience is what we bring in. We believe our KARD philosophy is acquire knowledge, accomplish, reflect, and develop. Leadership training, leadership coaching, and leadership mentoring is what we deliver. For more information, you can write to me the email ID provided or contact on the mobile number given here. We help people unlocking their hidden potential. Thank you and have a great
And please
day.
do keep your questions coming. We are always there to
Yes, yes.
questions.
Please
Accumulate
do.
and talk
If you
about it.
are if you're watching YouTube, there you can put in your question and we will keep answering it. And here you wanted to do that, the mobile number is provided. You can send your questions. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
Ashish. Bye.